Hi, everyone. Happy Tuesday. How are you all doing today? Thank you all for joining us for Humanities at Play. My name is Kathleen Kuo, and I am a program manager at Nevada Humanities, which is our state's council partner of the National Endowment for the Humanities. With Humanities at Play, our goal is to pair gameplay and other interactive activities with thoughtful discussions about the humanities and how they enrich our everyday lives. So, a couple quick notes before I get started today. If you are a first time Twitch user, welcome in. Thanks so much for being here with us today. If you would like to chat with us and participate and ask questions of me or my guest today, I strongly encourage you to create a free account, and that way you can chat with us and have a little bit more fun as we get started. Finally, if you are a newer user of Twitch, we have a very fun feature called a chat command, which is an exclamation point followed by a keyword. We have a list of commands that you're welcome to try out in chat. They are listed in the About section on our Twitch, as well as in the title of our stream today. So today, I am so excited to be joined by our special guest, Jarret Keene. Jarret, how are you doing today?
I'm wonderful. It's so great to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. I love video games and I love Nevada Humanities, so this is fun.
Match made in heaven.
Mhm.
That's awesome. So I'm going to read Jarret's bio for those of you who might not know him. Jarret is an assistant professor in the Department of English at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, where he teaches American literature and a graphic novel. You can find his first novel, Hammer of the Dogs, which is published by the University of Nevada Press just this year in bookstores now. Jarret's series of Western novels, Kid Crimson, about the youngest, deadliest, most handsome stagecoach agent in Virginia City, Nevada, is forthcoming in 2024. He's written a travel guide, a rock band biography, poetry collections, and he's edited short fiction anthologies, including Las Vegas Noir and Dead Neon, Tales of Near Future Las Vegas. Jarret is the current series editor for Las Vegas Rights, which is sponsored by Nevada Humanities and published by Huntington Press. While I don't have the newest version of Las Vegas Rights, I do have two of the previous, I guess the last two, which Jarret edited, which are very exciting. Again, you can also find these at bookstores in Nevada, or you can order copies online if you want to learn more and read them after our stream today ends. So we have a couple of admirers in chat. Looks like one of your students is here, Jarret, which is great.
Wonderful. I have the best students. They're always supportive.
Yeah, I can't wait to learn a little bit more about what you're teaching. I'll probably ask you in like the second half of our stream. But today, for the first part of our stream, the two of us are going to embark on a musical murder mystery adventure. I think that's the best way to describe this game. So, Stray Gods, the role-playing musical. There are a lot of fun things to note about this game. It was developed by an Australian based studio, Summerfall Studios. It features 2D hand illustrated visuals with a comic book style aesthetic. And the music is by one of my favorite video game music composers of all time, Austin Wintory. For those of you keeping track so far, this is like totally unintentional, I promise. This is the third game we've played on stream that features music by Austin, the first one being Journey, the second one being Abzu. The game developers were inspired by the Buffy the Vampire Slayer musical episode Once More with Feeling when they created this game. And they really wanted to make a game that combined musical theater and interactive storytelling. We love both of those things. And so with Stray Gods, the fun part is that we get to select dialogue choices, which influence the lyrics, the melodies, the styles of music, and how the game goes. And according to Austin Wintory, the game's composer, the combinatorial potential of the songs in this game is so large, it's virtually impossible to have the same playthrough twice, which I think is super awesome. Very cool how they created the music in a musical to be this way.
Yes.
Before we get started, Jarret, you said you were a thespian at one point in your life.
I was a teenage thespian in high school. Yes, I attended a arts school and we did the wonderful series of what I call leather jacket musicals. West Side Story, The Little Shop of Horrors, these kinds of what you might call Grease, these movies, these musicals that were made into popular films. But at the time these films had just been released, I'm actually 50 years old, so we're going way back to the late 80s, and it was so fun to have what I thought were really important roles in these high school productions, and a lot of the students that I attended this art school with, they went on to, really prestigious programs, Juilliard, Berklee School of Music, etc. So it was a real, what you might say, training ground for a generation of artists and entertainers. And I'm always really impressed with where they landed when I get my alumni bulletin in the mail or via email. It's always fun to note that these kids that I went to high school with are now professional musicians, artists, actors, etc.
That's super cool. Well, I'm really glad that we're playing this game then. It's kind of like a nice throwback, and I think we're gonna have some fun things to talk about. So for those of you who are new to our stream, generally the way the format of these streams, we do 1 hour-ish of gameplay. We'll take a 5-minute break, since we think it's important to hydrate and stretch, get up during that break. And then we'll come back and have a more focused Q&A with Jarret in the second half of our stream, which is usually about an hour. So it's about 2 hours total. Sometimes it runs a little bit longer though if our chat's popping off. So we always love to hear from chat though and know what you think. So please don't be shy about putting any observations, comments, questions you might have. Super excited to have you all here. Really excited to see a lot of your students as well. And I'm going to go ahead and get Stray Gods pulled up. So I'm going to switch over our scene. While I do this, I'm curious, how many people in chat have I don't know, are Buffy fans or have seen that episode? I'm going to admit that I am a bad Buffy fan, and I have seen very little of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Also, have not seen that episode, but now I'm inspired to do so, I think, after we play this game. But I would love to know.
The episode is Once More with Feeling, I believe, is the title. Yeah. Great episode. I'm also a fan, though, of the movie, the movie that preceded the TV show, and I stick up for it whenever I'm at a party or a gathering of thespians. I like I enjoy that movie. I was working in a movie theater at the time when Buffy the Vampire Slayer was released, and I walked in on it as I was cleaning up some popcorn. I was like, this is unusual. This is great. And I was thinking at the time, this should be a musical.
And there we go. Yeah. Okay. So if we need the music to be a little bit louder, just let me know, everyone. But otherwise, yeah, let's go ahead and get a new game started. And just a content warning to note, there will be some blood in this game. There's a little bit of violence. I don't know how far we're going to get, but there are also some other adult topics. So just be aware of those. Okay, here we go. Act 1.
Four hours. 4 hours in a rented gym that still smells like socks and childhood trauma. And where did it get us? Other than bored? The band wasn't even looking for anything specific. We just wanted change. We wanted to see who was out there, if they'd show up. Well, they showed up all right.
I had a dream where this exact thing happened. Except we were on stage. And naked.
We were auditioning.
Not all of us. Okay, it was just me. I was naked. I think this went better.
Okay, Jarret, we have our first set of decisions. We could say, you're trying to make me feel better. It couldn't be worse. Or maybe we should try that.
Yeah, I think we should go with, you're trying to make me feel better.
Okay.
I see what you're doing, Freddie. You're just trying to make me feel better.
How about making us feel better? We sat through this too.
I'm so sorry you all had such a rough time. Freddie has a bad idea. What else is new? Okay, let's just wrap this up. Kaz, do you need a ride?
Just to Brian's. I'm crashing on his couch until I get a new place.
What? You said it'd be
chaos.
2 days.
You know you like having me around. Whatever.
Have you heard yourself snore?
Hey, Grace, you okay? I know you've been kind of loose ends since you left college. I was just hoping tonight would cheer you up.
Okay, so we were a college dropout. We could say, I'm okay. You're the best. It's frustrating, or I know you meant well.
No, what are you leaning towards?
She's trying to cheer us up. I'm not sure what this little heart means. I'm kind of curious about that. Maybe it makes her like us more. Let's go with this heart.
You're always looking out for me, Freddie.
Well, that's the deal, right? Best friends to the end.
Right. I just wish it wasn't always so one-sided.
Hey, don't worry about that, really, Grace. You'll get through this.
Music is your life, Freddie. You're the drummer, the lyricist. All of this was your idea. I wish I knew where I fit.
I think you fit. You know that, right?
Yeah.
You coming?
I'm gonna hang out a bit and lock up. I'll see you at home.
Jarret, so you were also in a band at one point, weren't you?
I was starting way back in high school, and that's how I learned to play bass guitar.
Nice.
With no sails.
I think the voice acting and singing for this game are amazing. For anyone who's a video game enthusiast, definitely look up the list of voice actors. I think the credentials are really impressive. We got a question for you, Jarret. What kind of bass did you have? I have an Epiphone Firebird.
I had a Fender Jazz.
Is the world too much, or is it just me?
If anyone ever played Fire Emblem Awakening and you're familiar with the voice of Lucina or from Smash Brothers, Grace is voice acted by Laura Bailey, who also did Lucina. So I imagine Lucina singing.
Doesn't know how to be free, like a boat lost at sea, with no sails, not a breeze. I am drifting.
I'm getting goosebumps from this singing. It's really beautiful.
No star to be seen. Oh,
Sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I heard you from outside. My name's Calliope. You have an amazing voice.
I love the character designs.
I hope you know that.
Thanks. I'm Grace. Are you here for the audition, or?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Hey, Jarret, we could say, let's hear it. Everyone else is gone, or are you sure?
I'd say let's hear it.
Okay.
Okay. Did you bring an instrument or some music?
I kinda bring my music wherever I go.
All right. Well, with the fire furious, I have burned my tongue. Grief from all the promises, too many dreams.
Oh, thank you for that note, Silver. So Calliope is voiced by Ashley Johnson, who voiced Ellie in The Last of Us, among many other roles. Very cool.
Is there any path through? Like a boat lost at sea. Though I'm about to rest, you still have your life ahead. I am drifting cold
the music is so good.
waters, no star to be seen. All things that lose their way can find it again. There is no inertia in the ocean.
Oh, wow. Okay, so we get to choose a trait. We can be charming. This is Grace with soul and charisma. She tries to do the right thing and everyone likes her more for it. kick ass, in your face. This Grace is very punk rock, not afraid to get reckless and aggressive when it's called for, or clever. Sometimes you need to think your way out of a problem, right? This Grace is sneakier, smarter, and witty. I feel like we're choosing like Harry Potter houses or something.
Yeah. Well, I lean towards charisma, but it's your call.
Yeah, let's do it. So yeah, charming. This is Grace with soul and charisma. I wonder what musical style this will be. Charming.
Maybe if I leaned upon
This game is giving Disco Elysium. I've only played part of the game. I would love to play it on stream though, so I love that you made that reference.
Keep me safe from harm.
Wow. What was that?
Your song was just so wonderful. I had to finish it with you. I hope that's all right. I also know what it feels like to be lost. To feel as if you have no place to turn. That's why I had to come inside.
Okay, we could say, can I ask what's wrong? Have we met here? Or have we met before? I'm glad you did. Or it looks like we get this, maybe we can't do this because we didn't choose the blue option. You weren't here to audition.
Right.
Oh, thank you. For that. Okay, so what do you think we should say? Can I ask what's wrong? Have we met before? I'm glad you did.
Have we met before?
Okay.
You want to try that?
Yeah, let's do
It's
it.
really weird. I feel like... Have we met before?
I don't think so, but artists often find me familiar.
What does that mean?
She's a
It
muse.
means I've traveled in many circles. May I ask you why you feel so adrift? You're so young. Surely your life is just beginning.
Ooh, okay. Be guarded, be honest, or joke about it.
Oh, this was easier to do when there weren't so many people. Be honest.
Okay.
It would sound stupid.
Try me.
Well,
Yeah, it's that Calliope,
I
exactly.
left school because I didn't feel like I belonged there, but I still haven't found my place. What am I supposed to do? Where am I supposed to go? Shouldn't I have figured this out by now?
You know, I'm out of college and I still feel that way, honestly.
Those are good
sometimes.
questions to ask. I should go.
About the audition. I'm sure everyone will agree you're in, if you want to be, that is.
I hope to see you again, Grace. Perhaps soon.
Right. See you then.
Oh boy, what an intro. In the second half of our stream, Jarret, I would love to pick your brain to see if, since you teach graphic novels, if this reminds you of any in the past years. I'm not as familiar with graphic novels, but I'm wondering if any are reminiscent of the art style here.
Did you lose your keys, Fred? I thought you'd be... What the... Calliope?
I didn't know where else. I'm so sorry, Grace.
Okay, we can say, I'll get help. How did you find me, or what happened? Oh gosh.
I'll get help. Yeah, that's where I was being.
Oh, God. You're hurt. I'll get help.
No. No, you have to wait. You can't go. I didn't want to do this to you. Not like this. I'm so sorry.
What do you mean? Hey! Calliope! Please? Please, come on.
Oh, I wonder what that is.
Mhm.
What is that?
Ah. Powers transferred.
Yeah. Ooh, no, don't put your bloody hands in your hair. No. Oh, no.
Oh, I can wait. Take your time.
Who? Is that my door?
Technically, it's my door. Or our door, maybe? I came as soon as I could.
I love this rendition of Hermes. This is great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we could say, did you do this to her? Who are you? Or we need help. I know. It's right. I don't think Hermes did this to her, so I would say either who are you or we need help.
Yes, I agree.
Maybe we need help. No time for questions, just we need help.
I think she's dead. We need help. You need to call someone.
Well, I'm someone. I got called. Happens every time one of us dies, you know? She really is dead, huh? Man. So, the chorus is gonna want to talk to you.
The chorus.
Sucks, but, you know.
Okay, we could say, explain this right now, which I don't think we can do. We could say the chorus, or what is happening?
Yeah, that one. What is happening looks good.
I don't understand. None of this makes any sense. She's dead, and I don't...
Look, I can see you don't know squat about this, so I'm gonna explain real quick, but then you gotta come with me, okay? When Cal died, you saw a shiny thing come out of her, right? That was her soul. That's what made her a god.
A what?
It's in you now, which makes you a god. Surprise, right? With me so far? Cool. Let's go.
Uh-oh.
Where are we?
Sorry to drop you and run, but when an idol dies, there's like 100 different things I gotta do.
No, wait. Where did you bring me? How did we get here?
The chorus can explain. Don't touch anything. Okay?
Wait! Come back! Okay. Yeah. I'll just wait here and, not touch anything.
Wow, I can't imagine being in her shoes. It's like lots going on. Love the owl. Ooh.
Our beloved sister, the last of the Muses, has passed on to you, our new sister, delivered to us by dear sweet Hermes. It's, Grace, yes?
Yes?
My, you have had quite the day, haven't you?
Okay, we could say, Calliope is really dead? This is all some mistake, or who are you?
I think, who are you?
Someone died in my arms. Where is this? How did I get here? Who are you people?
So many questions. This is my office, and I expect you arrived through one of Hermes' portals.
The shiny doorway.
As for who we are, well, that does require some explanation, I agree. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Athena, goddess of wisdom. This is Apollo, god of prophecy, dressed for the occasion, as always. The wondrous Aphrodite, goddess of love. And the one glaring at you is Persephone, once queen of the
Why are you glaring
underworld.
at me?
Together, we are the chorus. We rule over the idols, our name for the gods who remain. All of us, hidden in your modern world.
Okay. Wait, gods are real? And you live here? Or you expect me to believe this?
They're all variations of the same concern. Yeah, I think. What do you think? And you live here is fine.
Right, and you live here, not in some city in Europe or
on top of a mountain. Oh, I know. Once we roamed marble halls, and now fashionably appointed apartments. We have Wi-Fi.
I love that. We have Wi-Fi.
We move with the times, Grace. We have to, if we're going to remain hidden and survive. The mortals grow more and more clever with each passing century. Television. I do what I must.
Okay, so it looks like we're just going to ask her a bunch of questions. We could say, yeah, gods are real. You said I'm a god now. You expect me to believe this?
You said I'm a god now. I'd like to get to that.
Said,
Yeah.
and Hermes said that I'm a god now too. And an idol.
That is true.
That thing that came out of her that went into me.
We call it an eidolon, the part of Calliope's soul which made her an idol, which now makes you one.
Athena, we are wasting time.
The reason you're here, Grace, the reason why we made you wait so long while we debated, is because we have rules. Those rules mean we can't admit into our ranks a usurper. Never mind a possible murderer.
We didn't murder her.
I know this will all come as a shock, and I'm so sorry to say it, but I'm afraid you have to die.
Oh my gosh. We got a little star. You could say that isn't fair. That's our special option. I didn't kill her. This is insane. I think all of these are true.
Yeah.
Say.
You want me to die? But that isn't fair.
I know. But consider
Sam
it from
says,
our
"Oh man,
point
a
of
vengeful
view.
Greek god
A
didn't see that
dear
coming."
Sister, someone who traveled with us through the ages, gone.
But I didn't do it. Aren't you supposed to be the goddess of wisdom? Can't you see this isn't right?
Calliope's blood is literally on your hands.
But it isn't.
Oh, she looks so helpless. Maybe we
We should do as we agreed. Calliope's line would end, yes, but what other option do we have? Let a usurper remain an idol?
Justice has to be done, for Calliope's sake.
But this isn't justice.
Ooh.
You cannot hide.
Oh, I love that. Just
from
jumps into
this
song.
reality.
I'm not hiding, though a little lost here.
If you are lost, little girl, this bears explanation. Dear child, please listen. You have usurped a muse. No recourse to be arranged.
But it's unfair.
I know, but our laws cannot be changed.
But she came to me.
You must realize there are simple rules. If one of us dies, these rules have been the tools that shield
You must know I didn't
us.
do it. Is it weird this isn't song?
Now
that the muse is gone. Now that she's gone, I'm afraid you'll have to see. You'll have to see the chorus is in accord. Justice won't be ignored.
I disagree.
Did I hear that correctly?
You've been quiet this entire time, Apollo. Why speak up now?
I grieve Calliope's loss just as much as the
I'm
rest of
getting
you,
chills
but
too, Silver.
I can't let you do this.
He's right. What if Grace speaks the truth? What if Calliope chose her? And what if Calliope was murdered by her? What if Grace stole her Eidolon?
Then we need to find out. Don't you want justice?
Oh, Apollo, I thought we'd agreed this was justice. What would you have us do?
Okay, we could say, we need to find the truth. Let me prove myself, or I want a trial.
I don't know about the trial. I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah, trial.
I think the truth is
Okay.
There has to be some way to find the truth. Aren't you gods? Couldn't a god, I don't know...
We aren't seriously considering this.
Very well. This
Thank you for the
one
follow,
time.
Moonlight.
I put a motion before the chorus. Do we allow Grace the right to prove her innocence?
Yes.
boy.
I think so. Yes. Fine.
Thank you, Ricerin.
And there we have it.
Appreciate the follows. Okay, so you could say, so I live, what just happened? Or how do I prove my innocence? Oh my gosh, this is so much. We've just been thrown right in. What do you think?
Maybe we could get right to it. How does she prove it?
Yeah.
Wait, I'm gonna get some help with this, right? Some direction?
You say Calliope chose you. I would like to believe that. I truly would. You have 1 week to find out what happened, Grace.
1 week.
What happens after
Murder
a
mystery.
week?
Yeah.
There will be a trial. If you cannot provide proof of your innocence by then, oh, our original verdict stands.
Okay. This is so unreal. How do I find the killer? Or will do. Yeah.
Maybe they'll have a clue as to how to find the murderer.
Yeah.
Can someone explain to me just how I'm supposed to find the truth? I'm not a detective. I don't know anything about the idols.
Well, that's for you to figure out.
Oh, thanks.
I knew you were going to say that. How did I know you were going to say that?
We're not going to keep you, Grace. You have much to do. Before you go, however, a few rules. Do not reveal our existence to the mortal world. This includes mortal authorities that cannot help you. Do not harm another idol. Do not leave the city. Do as the chorus commands. Otherwise, do whatever you must to find the true killer, if they exist.
Oh, that's all?
Welcome, dear sister.
And do help yourself to a cookie.
Oh, there's her cookie.
I was wondering.
Oh, I love this owl. Okay. So looks like we can go back to our apartment. I'm kind of curious about this journal. Cookies, don't eat the cookie. Oh, now we got some different things. All right, so it looks like the journal is kind of like where we keep notes on everyone we know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'll read this all, but I'll just click through it real quickly. So we have Freddie, we have Calliope, we have Hermes. And again, I encourage people, if you're video game enthusiasts, definitely look up the voice actors for all these people. We have Aphrodite. Jarret, how familiar are you with Greek mythology?
I'm very familiar, but I have to say these are updated versions of the mythic characters. I'm enjoying them quite a bit.
Yeah. I think that it was curious or really interesting that the ones that they've chosen, for the chorus were, Persephone, who I feel like is usually like a minor person, but here she plays a big role. Apollo and Aphrodite, Persephone. Okay. All right, let's go to Grace's apartment. Got an achievement. Inherited the legacy of the last muse. Grace seems pretty unfamiliar with Greek myths. Yeah, I agree.
Grace?
You're getting a crash course in Greek mythology in your Shakespeare class. Very cool. I think he talks more about the Greek gods than he talks about Shakespeare. That's funny.
Hi.
Hi. You're kidding, right? When I came home, the door was wide open. You weren't answering your phone. Kaz and Brian are still out looking for... Grace... We thought something happened to you. Wait, did something happen to you?
Oh gosh, yeah, we're not allowed to tell her that we're a god. Make up a story.
I guess make up a story.
Yeah.
Feels weird,
yeah. Kidnapped by aliens.
Well, if you don't want to tell me, you don't have to.
Big, scary aliens.
You were gone all night. Why didn't you answer your phone? I was calling and calling. This wasn't some hookup, was it? Because, you can say it's none of your business, Freddie.
Oh my goodness, who is this person? Okay, I could say, I should warn you. It's none of your business, or it was not a hookup.
Ooh. What is she going to warn her of? He's already in there, so we've got a new character introduced.
Freddie, you might not want to turn around.
Why? Did your hookup return? Did they bring flowers? Are they preparing to serenade you?
Hi there.
Who is this, Grace? Why does he have horns?
We could say I have something to confess. Good question, other god. I thought we weren't supposed to tell them about the gods' existences, and here one just Pan shows up.
Good question.
Honestly, your guess is as good as mine.
To answer your question, my dear, you see the horns because I allow you to see the horns. That's crazy, right? As for who I am, I've been known most often as Pan. So you call me that, if you must call me anything.
Pan, of the Greek gods, Pan, right? What are you, some kind of cosplayer?
The days of idols being called gods are well behind us, I'm afraid, but I assure you, I am the real article. I've come to offer our newest idol a helping hand. Or perhaps two. You do look lost, don't you?
Okay, we could say, were you sent here? How can you help? Or can we talk in front of Freddie?
Yeah, I say, can we talk in front of Freddie?
Yeah.
So we can just talk about this in front of Freddie.
Haven't you? Darling. And here I drop my glamour and everything.
It's just, I was told we're not supposed to.
Yeah.
Talk about it, that is.
Talk about what? Grace, tell me.
The prohibition is against revealing the idols to the mortal world. She's not the mortal world, is she? She can be trusted, can't she?
So smooth.
Why do I have the feeling that I'm going to regret not leaving with Brian and Kaz?
Oh, I can guarantee it.
Okay, Freddie, have a seat. Let's talk.
Huh.
That's it?
Huh? I guess. Do you believe in this, Grace?
Okay, I could say, I don't know. I had proof, or I hope it's all a dream. I don't think it's a dream, so... Maybe I had proof, or I don't know. I know, what are you supposed to say to all that? I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah, that worked.
I had proof. I traveled through a magical door.
Which sounds extra cool.
I was a little distracted.
Well, I have a million questions, but I can ask them later. The important thing is that I am here to support my best friend.
What a good friend. Okay. You could say, you're taking this well. I'm sorry to get you involved. Or you are the absolute best with a heart.
I like the heart.
She is.
What did I ever do to deserve a friend like you?
You sat next to me at lunch period, dummy.
Oh, yeah, right.
My friendship comes with all sorts of benefits, up to and including the tracking down of supernatural killers.
Such darling camaraderie. It brings a tear to my eye. It truly does.
Speaking of killers.
Whoa.
Thank you for the
wrong
follow,
me,
Skyward
dear
4.
lady. I've come to offer advice to our newest idol, a foundling who was set adrift most cruelly.
Okay, they could say, how'd you know about me? What's in it for you? Why are you so suspicious, Freddy? Or, so tell me your advice. I love the comment chat. How many heart comments before you've committed to the romance? I know, right? I also need to know this. We need the supports. Gosh, I don't know. What do you think? Maybe you'll just say, so tell me your advice. We'll just
Okay, I'll
keep
bite.
this moving.
What's your advice? I have to admit, I don't really know where to start.
Well, I'm not normally one to run amok telling others how to live their lives. But have you considered using your powers?
My powers.
Music, art, passion. You are the last muse, and all these are now your province.
Let's say my province. The chorus started singing, or that sounds pretty cool. I'll say the chorus started singing.
When I was talking to Athena and the others, they all started singing. Does that mean that was me?
Let me guess. Music swelled as if from nowhere. Lips quivered, souls were laid bare.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, that was you.
Okay, but how does that help me find Calliope's murderer?
Allow me to expedite the process of understanding.
Oh, thank you, Pan.
Now then, close your eyes. You hear that? It's coming from you. When you sing, what emotion does it summon?
I don't know.
You open your eyes, you look into the crowd, and you feel
powerful.
Ooh. I get Avatar The Last Airbender vibes when her eyes glow.
You've been given powers you don't understand. I'm the guy who can help you.
Does this not sound like a Disney villain song?
All that you hear is
Speaking of Disney.
Wait. No, it's okay, Freddy. This is all me? What do I do?
Start singing.
Now?
Ooh, okay.
Why not?
So I'm so confused. I don't trust you, or try to roll with it.
I don't trust him, but
these look like they correspond to like the character things we chose. I
Right.
think we chose green, so maybe we'll.
we did.
Freddy, he's got me shaking. I don't know what I'm meant
I would love to do multiple playthroughs though and see how the lyrics change every time.
This goat guy thinks I'm some great ingenue. I'm doing it now, huh? I don't follow.
Are those really actual horns? And this singing is so hard to swallow. Can you hear me, Grace? What's going on?
I'll just say.
Lost girls, lost
Oh, this is so cool. I love that we get to direct the musical.
A rescue that you can take home.
I won't say you need saving. You're not drowning, you're waving. And you two, are you dating? It's so titillating.
Grace, we gotta be careful. Has he slipped something?
We're just gonna pick all the green options, I think.
Spouting crap about powers. He could be dangerous. What do you think? Sing it, Freddy, I hear you. We've only just met, now he's my new best friend. Now I'll owe him a favor. And what will he want in the end?
You're lucky. I got to you. There's people out there who will come for you. I've heard that that you're making so much ado. You're lost and I'm trying to help.
Lost girls, you all love your lost
Very Vegas-y.
girls. A rescue that you can take home. Whether you're mean, smart, or nice, guys. If you don't mind, guys, we'll find our way on our own.
Fine, so what happens now?
I can do whatever I want.
Well, you can't stop time, so...
Grace, I'm frightened.
It's okay. I think I got this.
I never knew I had that in me.
Who's making this happen? This
This
isn't
isn't
a
a
game.
game.
You don't understand.
This has all gotten out of hand.
Should I say, I'll just go with the green option again.
Lost girls, you all love your lost girls. A rescue that you can take home. Oh, you can see we're at home.
I see what I see, kid. Freddie has no idea, kid. You'd be far better off on your own.
I don't know about that.
Really? Now you're just being silly. Maybe the muse isn't feeling the gravity. Or do you refuse and, like ostriches, happily stick your heads in the sand? Grace, I could be your right hand. Freddie, you better leave her alone. Let me
That's
do
right,
what
Sam.
I do, or she'll sink like a stone.
Lost girl, I know.
And we chose to be charming, so that's why I decided to pick all the green options during the
This
song.
is new, and I don't know what to do. Should I stay with my bestie? This goat's getting testy. Won't be lost on my own. I'll always be.
I mean, I think just for the sake of staying consistent, maybe we should choose Freddie. But
Sorry to break it to you, Pan, but I'm not abandoning my best friend.
That's your choice. Humdrum mortality.
How about trusting in those who love her instead of those who want to use her?
Oh my, such drama. No matter how you employ it, Grace, this is the power of a muse, drawing out that which lies within. I trust you can see how that might be useful in your investigation.
I'll just say this is perfect.
I'll make them sing a song of confession.
Exactly so.
But only if they did it, right? I draw out the truth, not make them lie or do something they wouldn't.
Oh, you will be a natural at this, I can tell. A muse does not command. She evokes. She elicits. She inspires.
Love that.
Look, Creepo, Grace already told you to take a hike.
So she did. Allow me to get to the point then. For all your powers, you still need a place to begin your search. And this I can provide. An address. In the city where Calliope was staying, I do believe.
Okay. I kind of think it's funny how the address, it's not written down, it's a map with an X.
Yes.
we have Google Maps. We can you don't need the X. Okay, we could say you should have led with that. Thank you, or why not go there yourself?
I'm thinking thank you, but the other ones seem a little bit aggressive.
Yeah, X marks the spot. That's right, Cypher. I'll say thank you.
Her address? Thank you. That's perfect. Thank you.
Now this I consider a favor.
Yoink.
One I hope you'll remember in future dealings.
Okay.
That's perfect. We can look for clues there. What this Calliope was doing, who her enemies were.
I should remind you there is an element of danger. A killer is on the loose, no?
Okay, I could say maybe next time, Freddy. Then I'll need her help, or I need your help, Pan. I'll say then I'll need her help.
Then I'll definitely need backup.
You'll be fine. After all, what's a mortal to do that you cannot?
I can speak Hindi.
I love that.
Okay, fine. I get it. I need to find Kaz and Brian. Just tell them you're okay. If, not the other stuff.
Then I guess I'll go check this place out on my own.
So glad that's settled. I'll let you get to it. I've drinking to resume. Ta-ta.
Wow. Okay, well, we have a little bit more of this game. Maybe we can do like one more scene and then we'll take our break. But
yeah.
Let's see. I don't think our journal is updated. Yeah, here's Pan. I'm just thinking Halloween's coming up, and for people who have lots of friends who love dressing up, I think doing a group cosplay of the cast from this game would be amazing. Keep that in mind. Okay, let's go to the Mises Hideaway. Let us know in chat who you would cosplay as. I would be Athena's owl, I think. Dibs on the owl.
Oh, it's open.
Yeah.
That's not a good sign.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much for the raid, Daniel. Appreciate it.
This is Calliope's
Welcome
apartment. I don't know what I was expecting, but not this.
Hi everyone, we're playing Stray Gods today with Jarret Keene, who's
sure,
a
Grace,
writer and professor at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. We are playing a murder mystery musical, Stray Gods. Oh gosh, okay, wow, it's kind of like a lot of things we could look at. So we could look at guitar, light, elegant painting, Warhol painting, drums, Elvis picture, harp, or instrument. Is anything calling out to you?
Yeah, instrument looks good.
Okay. Piano. I hope you had a good stream. How was your stream? Thanks for popping in.
So many
Appreciate the raid.
instruments in here. Did she play all of them?
Maybe for the, I feel like we should look at Elvis picture for the Vegas connection.
Yeah, let's do that.
My sister is always like, "Did you see Elvis? Where's Elvis?" The one time she visited me in Vegas, she never saw Elvis, and she never lets me live it down.
Like his muse, or
okay, maybe we'll go down the list. Looks like we have to look at everything. It was great. Saw you guys were live as a gaming PhD co-working community. It's perfect. Well, thank you so much.
Beautiful.
Really appreciate being here.
One of these.
Need to take a break or do post-stream care stuff? Please go do that. And I appreciate you bringing your community here.
After Calliope left the audition, where did she go? Did she follow me? Did she come here?
Yeah, had you heard of this game before? We are very excited to play this. It's been a lot of fun listening to the songs that we're randomly dragged into.
Did she paint that? Looks like it belongs in a museum.
I don't know if I ever said what city they're in. Where do you think they are,
Warhol,
Jarret?
yeah, that makes sense.
They're getting like New York
How many
vibes
celebrities
or
she knew?
LA?
I was, but then also, yeah, there's some LA in this scene here.
I thought it was funny how she was asking Athena.
Do I inherit these?
Yeah, wouldn't you be in Europe? Like, why are you here?
Is that even okay to ask?
Okay, let's go upstairs now that we have that option.
Yeah.
I don't see anything useful down here. Maybe there's something upstairs?
There we go.
Oh man, keep it together, Grace. It's just your average, everyday.
There were only 3 muses, you know, not 9. Whenever they found someone who made something truly masterful or created a new art form, they'd pass on their idol on. Take a new name. You see, that's how the mortals became confused. They got it wrong. Like they got almost everything about us wrong.
Apollo's design is so interesting. It kind of reminds me of like a dad who's a little bit sad, you know, he's a little bit tired. That's like my Apollo. Yeah. Okay, we could say, you scared me, what are you doing here? Or, you're Apollo.
Yeah.
So what are you doing here?
What are you doing? Sitting here in the dark?
What does
Sad
it look
dad,
like I'm
yeah.
doing?
With no shirt.
Preparing your villainous monologue?
Retired surfer dad.
I'm grieving for a dear friend. If I may ask, how did you find this place? And what are you doing here?
So I need your help.
I'm looking for help. To save my life, remember?
Yes, I should apologize for that. Our ways must seem strange to you.
You don't need to apologize. You're the only one who really helped me.
It wasn't right, what they were doing.
It still isn't.
Silver, could you look up Apollo's voice actor? I'm curious. I'm wondering
I can't help
who
you,
he
Grace.
is.
I wish I could. You deserve better.
Okay, we could say, why can't you help me? Can you tell me about Calliope? Or why is this room such a mess? What do you...
Maybe not that one.
Yeah. Maybe, why can't you help me?
Why can't you help me exactly? Pan said there's no specific rule against it.
You've already met Pan? How odd. It's not that I'm forbidden to help you, Grace. It's that you don't want my help.
Of course I do! You have to know more than me about almost everything!
My help will only make things worse.
How is that possible? I've been sentenced to death.
And without my help, you stand a chance of avoiding that fate.
Okay, we'll just continue on with the
Can
questions.
you tell me about Calliope?
Troy,
I
wow.
barely knew her, but she seemed...
She was a beautiful soul, if troubled.
Troubled?
She thought the idols had lost their way. She argued with us, with all of us, that we needed to change. We hadn't spoken in years. I hadn't seen her home before today. I'd rather not talk about it.
I don't think I would ask. I don't know if you're not thinking. I'll just say so you won't help me.
So let me get this straight. You'll speak up for me, but you won't lift a finger to help.
You don't want me to do more.
You keep saying that, but it doesn't make any sense. If you didn't want to help, that'd be one thing. But insisting I don't want you to? Why not?
I sense a song coming. Maybe.
I can't do this.
I can see this is hard for you, I really can. But I don't understand.
You don't know what you're asking.
Do I have to beg? For whatever reason you helped me before. My life is still on the line.
I haven't sung in centuries.
Just put on the spot.
According to Pan, I can't force anyone to do anything.
Right.
Okay, I think we'll take our break after this song, I think.
Phantom pains from a missing friend, feeding thoughts that never end. What did I do? What didn't I do? Here she is, only in your head. Long gone fights, but they're never dead. What did I do? What didn't I do?
Calliope, what was she to you?
Years, thousands of years, we walked side by side. She tried, said there's other paths. Don't walk the same, never the same. I have roads I like, smooth, paved in stone. She got tired of our divide. We weren't the same, never the same.
You held fast. What's that about?
Stop. turn. We do that old dance, knowing both there was not a chance that I would change, but she never came.
Years, thousands of years, and now you're left behind. Your mind still hears her say, break from the same, never the same.
I'm disconnected. Oh no.
Listen to her, break from the same, never the same.
But I've tried.
Never with me. We haven't tried.
Hey.
Let's see.
Tell me if it's too hard, if I pushed you too far, just say
It's okay. She's gone. Can't be the same. Never the same. That hidden voice, it'll always play on a loop. It'll always say, what did I do? What didn't I do?
it's a song you can't erase, but you can make a tiny space for what you will do. Something new.
Very well, I'll help. Though I'm uncertain what you expect me to do.
Athena called you the god of prophecy, didn't she? Isn't that telling the future?
Prophecy is the last thing you need, Grace.
Okay, well, Jarret, I would love to play the entirety of this game with you, but I think it's time for our break. I know, prophecy. So I think what I'll do is we're just going to take a 5-minute break. This is where we encourage everyone to, go get hydrated, stand up and stretch, grab a snack, and then we'll be right back and come to the second part of our stream where it's just me and Jarret on screen and we get to learn a little bit more about him. So hopefully your students are still here. They get to learn a little bit more about you. They get to maybe heckle you from afar. But
let's hope,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, we will be right back. See you all in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. Hi, everyone. Hope you had a good break. Thanks for tuning in. I am back with our guest for today, Jarret Keene. We just finished playing about an hour of Stray Gods, the role playing musical. A lot of fun. I was just telling Jarret, I'm very sad that we can't finish the rest of it today. I don't know how long the game is, but it's really, I'm just blown away by the writing, by the fact that you can just change the course of the music depending on what you pick. Thought that was very, very cool. Yeah, Jared, I'd love to get your thoughts in the game too.
Well, I loved it. It reminded me a lot of the work of Neil Gaiman. It has that effortless, magical quality to it, and he's always playing around with mythology, with various pantheons, and this was a lot of fun to see that in this kind of, as I was telling you, musical, choose your own adventure, comic book format. I don't know. That's why I was drawn to it, and the single player kind of non-combat, making emotional choices path of it is very fascinating. It's not the kind of gaming that I grew up on with the Atari 2600 where the games were very primitive and they had titles like Combat
Yeah. Uh-huh.
or Tennis or tanks or whatever the nonsense was. This was a lot of fun, very nuanced and sophisticated, and again, just the music is surprisingly good. It's my first really encounter with this format of a video game / musical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is part of what I love about this series is although we don't only do gameplay on our program, we've done some other things too, like cooking and poetry workshops. I think just showing off the depth and breadth of video games, especially in the last few years, is something that I'm trying to do with this program to sort of get people to realize, yeah, it's not just tanks or combat or things like that.
Which I love, but this is a nice change of pace, very different, and appeals to the '80s kid in me.
Yeah, I would love to know, especially if you grew up in the 80s, what is your experience or background with gaming? Like, I guess from childhood to where you are now. I always like to know, if people play a lot, if you've never played a game. We've had some people on the show who've never played a video game in their life, and that's fine too. But I'd love to learn a little bit more about you.
Well, I was absolutely, I mean, as a child, I would say this, I was absolutely addicted to Atari 2600 games, Activision titles like Pitfall, but I was also really drawn to the games that didn't work too well, like Raiders of the Lost Ark or E.T. These were games that were rushed into production and had a lot of you might say quirks and glitches, but I didn't know as a child that they were glitches. I just thought this is a chance for me to further to continue the adventures of Indiana Jones or the little ET creature. That was a lot of fun to extend what I had enjoyed in the movie theater in another format, whether it was a single authored Activision or Atari title, or a comic book, or a lunchbox, or trading cards, board games. I just love the multimedia aspects of pop culture. I loved it as a child in the 80s. And I feel that that was sort of in many ways, a golden age of popular culture. I didn't realize it at the time as it was happening. I just thought, it would be like this forever. But as everything has gravitated online, that's offered its own unique pleasures. But I think we've lost something of the physicality, we've lost the idea that pop culture is also, fun little objects that you can collect and decorate your house, your apartment with. And that's what when I was working on Hammer of the Dogs, I didn't just work on it as an adventure story. I was working on it as something that would please Gen X kids, even, and millennials too, make them think about wonderful things like Toys R Us.
That's awesome.
That feeling of stepping into a toy shop and anything is possible. You don't know what kind of weird catapult or interesting board game you'll find buried somewhere on the shelves. So yeah, Atari 2600, NES, obviously, and then I did a lot of old school Dungeons and Dragons. That was my first really that was the first gaming of any kind that I did, even before chess and checkers. I was playing with kids in the neighborhood and beyond at school, pretending I was a paladin, a wizard, a cleric, a thief. And it was a lot of fun to, kind of use my imagination in a way that really was only like, hand-drawn maps, dice, and just, storytelling. And that's really what I enjoyed most about Dungeons and Dragons. It wasn't the combat system, it was the ability to inhabit the role, to play that role, to pretend you were someone that you weren't. That to me was the real joy of it. And I put a lot of that attitude, that raw energy into writing Hammer of the Dogs. I wanted it to appeal to old school gamers. There's a lot of references to D&D and other, pen and paper dice combat systems. So that's what I was after. And, the 80s shaped me in ways that I'm still trying to figure out. They traumatized me also to a degree, but, that's half the fun, is trying to figure out, how your upbringing, how your milieu, how your environment created who you are today.
I was gonna ask, it sounds like, yeah, you were just, you grew up in sort of, like, I don't want to say golden age, but maybe it was a golden age of, pop culture and all of these great stories. And I'm wondering, like, have you always known that you wanted to be a writer, or going like down this path? Like, what sort of led you to where you are now? Because you teach writing, you do a lot of writing yourself. Have you known from the start, or did something like happen?
Well, because I went to, as I was saying before, like an arts high school.
Yeah.
That really kind of put me on the path. The idea of 40 of us kids from wildly different backgrounds, having just 5 weeks to put together a production of Little Shop of Horrors. That kind of puts you on a path.
Yeah.
You never forget that. It's like going to war. It's like we've got to do this. And we were the kind of school that it wasn't just our friends and family that came to see this. Like, local journalists came to, write it up and review it. We were scouted very often, theatrical agents would come and visit our school, and it was fun, and we took it very seriously, but it wasn't competitive. I was very fortunate that way. We were never like at each other's throats. We just kind of helped each other through the arduous task of, like I said, launching a production in just a few weeks' time. The recent movie Theater Campus sort of encapsulates that world. Young kids bonding together over the desperate task to not embarrass themselves on stage. It really kind of shaped me and put me on this path to become a writer, a teacher, a professor. But before I was all that, I was a writer. I wrote for many years as an entertainment reporter here in Las Vegas, which gave me, what you might say, offered me a secret key to the city. I was able to see nearly every aspect of the entertainment world in Las Vegas, from the hotel casinos to the rock clubs to the downtown area with all its artsy offerings. And because of that, I feel like I got a special, almost guided tour through what Las Vegas has to offer as the entertainment capital of the world that it is. There's so much here, and so much. You see it in the rabid coverage of the Sphere.
Yeah.
Which was nonstop there for a few weeks, and being able to get construction hard hat tours of new facilities as they were coming online. It was something else. And then after I was an entertainment journalist, I worked for several years as a corporate communications director at the various properties on the Las Vegas Strip, Bellagio, Excalibur, Mandalay Bay, MGM Grand, Luxor. And I worked in the bowels, the basement of the Luxor, which is, of course, where the hero of Hammer of the Dogs begins her journey. She's a very unhappy being enrolled in the paramilitary drone school in ruined Las Vegas. There's been some kind of collapse, catastrophe, and the teenagers are kind of being divided into rival gangs. And so they're, sniping each other with drones. And she's got her own mission that she's set out on, which is to protect her family, to find her family and protect her friends. And so that being able to get that behind the scenes tour of Las Vegas by virtue of my writing gigs was invaluable and a big inspiration for the book.
Yeah, I can't wait to read Hammer of the Dog. So just, again, as a reminder for anyone who might have missed the intro, his first novel just came out this year, just a couple months ago, very recent. I want to say even like weeks. Published by University of Nevada Press. And yeah, I'm just curious, Jarret, how long have you had this idea in your mind for Hammer of the Dogs? Like, how long did it take you to write this and get it out?
Well, I had the idea for many years. The writing of it probably only took maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years. Mm-hmm. But even that wasn't sustained. I probably could have written it faster if I hadn't been doing these other things, getting a job as a professor and whatnot. But the original idea goes back nearly a decade when I was still working for the casinos. And you may have heard this before, but Las Vegas is a big convention town.
Yeah.
So I discovered that, not just every year, but every few months, it seemed there'd be a drone tech gathering, a drone tech convention where all the latest, autonomous weapons would be unveiled and displayed in a 1 million+ square foot convention center, like at Mandalay Bay or something, Caesars. So I'd use my employee badge to, sneak into these conventions, and I was awestruck and horrified by what I saw. They're seem to be developing 100, 1,000, many different ways of killing people via remote control. I thought this was absolutely fascinating and completely horrifying. And I just started interviewing people, not for an assignment. I was just curious, I'd pick up drone literature, like the brochures and the propaganda magazines, and I tried to study the industry and immerse myself in that world. And it was really startling to observe the connection, the symbiosis between, the tech sector, the military-industrial complex, law enforcement, higher education, foreign governments. They were all working together to kind of create and then sell to, each other this aggressive technology. And so I thought, I pondered this for a long time, and I thought, Las Vegas is the perfect place for this kind of endeavor. We've always been on the bleeding edge of technology with regard to, atomic testing. What is it? I think I read somewhere it was more than 900 atomic tests were conducted at the Nevada test site. That's a lot of bombs going off. And then, of course, Elon Musk is here, building burrowing his tunnels underneath the Strip. Google has been, testing its autonomous vehicles here. Just Vegas, well, there's Hoover Dam, which was an experiment all of its own kind. It just seems Las Vegas is always where technology comes to use the environment as a sandbox, as a playground, and try to figure out what kind of horrifying new weapons they can, create and test. So I started thinking about that and thought this Las Vegas is the ideal setting for a dystopian, post-apocalyptic adventure novel. And so obviously I read Hunger Games and Divergent took a lot of inspiration from books like Battle Royale and things of that nature. And I just wanted to, Stephen King's early novels were a big influence. So I just wanted to rekindle some of that bright darkness, where you take like a really maybe dark, dreary, depressing scenario, but you overlay kind of bright interactions or characters or banter. And I'm thinking of movies that I know you treasure, like Legend, Labyrinth, Tron, Empire Strikes Back, Red Dawn. These are movies all from the 80s that had that kind of, dark premise, but there was all this cool, fun, even flashy, flamboyant stuff, occurring on top of it all.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I was after, was that bright darkness. I didn't want to write like a novel that was, a warning about the dangers of drone technology. I thought it'd be better to make that, put that underneath the surface and instead focus on, story, characters, the interactions between the various personalities. And in many ways, Hammer of the Dogs is like a tribute to that era in storytelling, where people, when we used to enjoy films like Secret of Nim, which is a really depressing premise, but it's got just this fantastic, joyous adventure overlaid on top of those themes. And that's that's exactly what I was after with in writing this book.
I really can't wait to read it. And when you mentioned Battle Royale just now, it's so funny, the timing of this. I've never seen, nor have I read either the book or the manga version, I guess, of Battle Royale, but I did go down like a Wikipedia rabbit hole this past weekend where I think I looked up Battle Royale, and then I like sort of read through like every single character's biography, and I was just so fascinated. Like I was just like reading it for like hours. So
no, I was already in college when Battle Royale was first published in translation, and I remember going into the Borders or Barnes and Noble and be like, "What is this? This looks very fun and very, very dark." And it was great. It kind of cleared my sinuses. Like, this is fun and adventurous, and I want to do a lot of this. I want to write something that would, if it wasn't a huge bestseller, it would at least be a cult, publication. You knew when you first read Battle Royale, I'm talking about the original English translation back in the 90s, that it was going to endure, that it was going to, you sense that this thing was going to hit like a meteor, and of course it did.
I'm curious, this, I guess, changing topics just a little bit. So you teach at UNLV, and as we had some of your students here today in chat, which was really great. And I'm wondering, what courses do you teach? Like, what are you teaching right now, and what are some fun ones you've done in the past, or maybe have coming up in the near future?
Yes, currently I'm teaching the graphic novel and American literature post 1865. But I've taught, and I love teaching world literature, which is the class where I get to talk about the Iliad, the Odyssey, the Aeneid, stuff like that. But for me, like teaching the graphic novel class, that's like an opportunity to, put comics into a more academic discussion or context, because I think it's a bit overdue. The graphic novel is more recently considered an art form, but as an 80s kid, it took a while for that. I saw that that it took a while for it to happen. Mouse by Art Spiegelman was obviously a huge moment in turning as far as turning the tide. But even after that, there's always been pushback against comic books, the graphic novel. There's a lot of gatekeeping that goes on with regard to certain art forms. Now video games have that struggle in many ways ahead of them. But I think that, as long as smart, thoughtful people spend time thinking about writing about the value of these art forms, that it's inevitable that they will be accepted or embraced even by the Academy. And we're seeing that now with regards to the graphic novel. I think it's great. Although, of course, the old school comic book, as you and I knew it growing up, is struggling a bit. And as it makes this transition, you might say, from the printed page to the digital online arena. But I don't know. I still think that there's so many good comics, so many good graphic novels being produced today that I'm not too worried that the art form as we know it will, disappear or evolve into some other thing. I think there will always be a place for the comic book in American pop culture and beyond.
I'm actually curious, when does I guess what's the difference between a comic and a graphic novel? Like, when does it sort of cross that threshold? I'm not super familiar with either. I guess the extent of my graphic novel reading, I guess, would include Watchmen, which I read when I was in college, which I also know is kind of a collection, right? It kind of all came together, and I read like the big one. I read a little bit of, I guess it's a comic, some Hellboy, The Preacher, a little bit. That was pretty dark, and that's pretty much it, I think. And
Those
manga,
are great comics. Well, manga, that's a whole nother discussion, and that discussion is wonderful to have because manga is, unlike the American comic book, in no danger of going away. Manga readership seems to expand, if anything, worldwide. But as far as the titles you mentioned, I mean, the reason those are graphic novels is because they're doing a little bit more than what the commercial comic book did from roughly the end of World War II until the 80s. Some people have a cynical view of the term graphic novel, like it's a euphemism or it's a marketing term designed to get people to take comics more seriously and spend more money on them, especially boomers and Gen Xers. You want to flatter them, you want them to buy old and new stuff, and the good way to do that is to say, they weren't just comics; these are graphic novels. You need to spend more money on these products. But for me, graphic novel is a term that indicates that whether or not something is literary. I would never call, and I mean this affectionately, like I would never call Archie comics a graphic novel. That doesn't work. That said, I mean, they're absolutely delightfully written and drawn and rendered and produced even. But the graphic novel attempts, I would suggest, more literary feats, they have a more literary bent to them, let's say. That's how I use the term, and hopefully I think my students find that useful. Richie Rich is not a graphic novel, but it is a heck of a lot of fun, which is why I call it a comic book. Richie Rich, Casper, whatever it is, Scooby-Doo even. I love these kinds of publications. They're fun comics. And the graphic novel is what I talk about in class. So if you take my class, we're probably not going to study Archie, but we will talk about Riverdale or
okay.
The TV show or something. But we're certainly going to talk about the titles you mentioned: Watchmen, Mouse, Fun Home, Persepolis, which, and even these books that I mentioned, these are at least 10 years old now. So we're just going to keep moving forward and talking about whatever is produced recently has literary aspirations. We're going to talk about it in our class.
I'm just like kind of in awe that, I guess, this is part of your job, I suppose, but just by all the reading you must have to do, like to, kind of revisit old titles that you loved, but also, what's being published now. Like I'm just curious, like how much of your time is spent, like looking up like what's new or current, or how do you discover, new titles that you love or want to teach?
Well, obviously, I still spend way too much time in comic book shops, like the one here in Las Vegas called Alternate Reality, which is a wonderful place for anyone who's looking to develop a comics collection that isn't just Marvel titles or whatever. And at Alternate Reality, there's a real emphasis there on the indie publishing scene, on, you might call them even today, alternative comics. But I have to say that it is difficult to keep up with what seems to be an ever increasing number of indie releases. That's sort of the joy of it, because you never know what's coming, you never know what's happening, and you can't get bored. Like, it's a hobby, you might say, comics reading, comics collecting, that you can never tire of it, because there's always something new just around the corner, and you want to check it out. Comics creators are, let's face it, they're a little more commercially minded. They're not like George R.R. Martin. They're gonna meet the deadline and produce the work, so that's gonna come at you fast and furiously through. Because of that output, you have something new every time you step into a shop, every week nearly, and that makes it fun.
Yeah. So in addition to being, of course, an extensive reader, you've written extensively and you've edited a lot. We have a question for you in chat. I'm curious about the writing process. Do you have any process to get into the writing headspace? Like, do you have any rituals or fun things you do? We always like asking people that on this program.
Yeah, the ritual is, for me, is an aesthetic one. Getting your office tidy enough so that you can make sure you have the right items, objects near you that will inspire you or keep you motivated, keep the keys clicking and clacking. Coffee. I'm not really good at sticking to a strict schedule, like, from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. I'm going to work on my next novel. No, I mean, there's always something that comes up. So you just kind of have to, you might say, steal the time for yourself, claim it when you can. And, as you would with the gym or anything else, or preparing a meal, sometimes writing and you have to choose. You might have to write and then grab a salad to go, or if you've written for several days in a row, you might take a break and say, I'm going to cook something fun and nutritious, something that might last a day or two. So that's my way, that's my headspace. I like to have the right books around me. I like to have a decent view, a window I can look out of. I'm not a bunker down and write in the and write in the darkness kind of person. I like to have my senses stimulated, so that I'm good to go. I don't listen to a lot of music when I write. If I listen to music, it's ambient or synth driven or something without much distraction to it, without many lyrics. But I will say, writing Hammer of the Dogs, I did find myself listening to music from the 80s, and particularly that that hard rock, glam metal, some of that heavy music that I had forgotten about and put away, kind of put it in that box in my mind that was, my adolescence. And then I reopened that box and, kind of rekindled my relationship with Ozzy Osbourne and Twisted Sister and Alice Cooper and Wasp and all those ridiculous, at the time they seemed a bit ridiculous, hair metal bands. But it was a lot of fun to go back and watch my characters kind of embrace that music and use it as a way to get hyped and to fight evil.
Yeah, we should get a playlist. If you should share your playlist with us for Hammer of the Dogs, that'd be a lot of fun.
Yes, I have one, but it's one of those things I keep revising it, and I feel like it's not quite ready. I got to get this one track that's going to make the difference. But yeah, I mention a lot of the songs and artists throughout the book, in the hope that a reader will rediscover or learn something new about a kind of music, a genre of music they didn't know much about before.
That's great. And Sam notes in the chat, don't forget a good sleep schedule. That's always, I think, good advice.
Very helpful. Yeah. Very helpful.
Yeah, we had
too much coffee.
We had on our program recently, we had a writer who I think, in addition, we're asking about tips, and I think don't do this at home disclaimer. I think it was like 2 shots of vodka. And then in the height of COVID, it was like sleep all day, conserve all of her energy. And then at night, like just arise from bed and use all of that energy spent in bed all day just to write, which I thought was
Nice.
very, very fun. So we
Like a
love
vampire.
asking, we love asking all of our writers, like, what kind of things do you do? And it's great getting the array of questions. Vampire hours, absolutely. I would love to know, I guess it's just changing topics a little bit more about your role in editing the Las Vegas Rights anthology. So again, I have 2 here with me. These are the previous 2. I think we're on volume 14 now. I have 12 here and 13. And so Jarret, you've been involved with this series since the beginning, not necessarily as an editor, but as a writer. And there's the newest one. Yep.
Well, this one's called Feather Shows, Las Vegas Writers on Film, TV, and Other Spectacles. Yes, and this is volume 14 in the series. Yeah, I've always admired the series from its inception. It's like a recurring showcase of the best writing in Las Vegas by the best authors. And when I had an opportunity to become the series editor, I jumped at it because it is probably one of the top pleasures that I have here in Las Vegas, which is but let's just say locating, scouting new writers in Las Vegas who have something important to say about the city and its surroundings. And I take that responsibility really seriously because for many of the writers in the series, it marks their first significant literary publication. And I want them to put their best foot forward. I want to help launch writers. I want them to not just do this and disappear. I want them to have this be the spark that ignites a literary fire for them and keeps them motivated and going. Getting published is such an important milestone for a writer. It's the validation of seeing the work in print, of getting a little money for their work, a payment of some kind. And just, in some ways, this is an opportunity for professionalization, especially for many of my students who I end up, discovering and putting in this book with their beautiful writings. But it's not just for young people. I've got people of all ages and backgrounds that I've selected for inclusion in this book. And I'm just a curator. I really don't. I offer line by line edits, or I'll help them reshape, reimagine the contours of a piece. But I'm not too overbearing. I try to let the voice of the writer shine through. I'm not here to change that voice or revise that voice. And so it's just great to see year after year, a new crop of writers. We've gone back we'll go back 4 or 5 years after we've published a writer. We'll come back to them and say, hey, would you like to do another piece for this theme? Because every year we have a different theme for the book. And like I said, this year's theme is film, TV, other spectacles. And so I do try to reach out to writers who I know have something to say about the theme in question. So next year's theme will be on scarcity and abundance. And I've already got a rough list of so far 4 or 5 authors that I hope to reach out to. But I'm also sharing it here first to let potential aspiring writers know if they want to, if they're interested in contributing, they can reach out to me.
That's good to know. That partially, I think, answers a question we got in the chat from Sam, who asked, do you seek out the writers or do they submit their work?
No, I seek them out, but of course, I have a modest reputation in the literary community, so I get emails, fairly frequently. Hey, are you looking for something for the next anthology? And of course, I am, because I do one every year. So then I'll work with the writer and try to develop an idea for an essay or a short story, depending on what the genre in question is that year. This year was nonfiction. But yeah, I see this as a real, like a heavy responsibility, and I just want to make sure we do it right and just spotlight the full range, the full diversity of voices here in the Vegas Valley.
I think it's really incredible how just again, like these are just two of the now 14, but just the fact that this gets published every year, it just seems like it's just an incredible collection. It's a lot of work, that must go into it.
Yeah, have I even said their name? Nevada Humanities is the reason it's possible. I mean, they're so generous and supportive in spotlighting the best of Las Vegas writing. This is my favorite aspect of all the programming. This to me, because it's Las Vegas centered, is so crucial to helping this area be known for something other than the gaudy, shiny spectacle that it is, the neon madness. So I'm very grateful for the support of Nevada Humanities to keep this project and many like it, going. There's also an accompanying exhibit at the Nevada Humanities, program office downtown. It's called the Icons of the Showgirl, and it's a beautiful collection of images gathered from UNLV University Library Special Collection, where there are hundreds of illustrations and sketches of showgirl costumes. And so Bobby Ann Howell has printed and displayed these some of the best images in the gallery downtown. And I urge everyone to go check it out. It's free, open to the public, and we're having a big gathering for that as well on November 16th.
Yeah.
But the book release for Feather Shows is next week, October 19th, at the Clark County Library Theater, 7 p.m. And again, this is an event that's free open to the public, and you get to meet the authors who have contributed essays to this latest volume.
I think one of my favorite things is sort of a person who, I don't say on the outskirts, because of course I work for Nevada Humanities, but it's really, again, my colleague, Bobby Ann, who works, I think, probably most directly with you in all of this. But just as someone from the outside, quote unquote, just seeing on social media and like in my networks, just every year, I feel like there's always this great rush of energy during the fall when the new anthology is announced, and everyone is just so, I think, delighted and honored, and it's just so nice to see that energy and how supportive the writing community is in Las Vegas, and people are there to listen and support new writers or old writers. And it's, again, like you said, you seek out or locate a lot of familiar voices, but also new ones. I think some of the writers for this newest anthology, I think I've worked with as a part of my work with Nevada Humanities. For instance, Tiffany Pereira is, of course, a scientific illustrator and scientist at the Desert Research Institute. And when I saw her name, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so wonderful that she's included in this anthology. I didn't know she had this writing side to her as well. So that was great to see.
Kathleen, she's not writing. She did a comic book.
Oh, she did? That's amazing. See, that's even better. That's amazing. Yeah. There we go.
She did a piece of graphic nonfiction about her job as a scientific illustrator in the field, and the title of the piece is called Field Day, and it's about some of the challenges she's faced out there alone, as a woman by herself, trying to record things and jot down what it's like out there in the desert. And I love that I was able to include some graphic storytelling, some comic book work, and I hope to do more of it in subsequent volumes.
Is that what Jean Munson also did? Because I've worked with Jean, and I, of course, know Jean from a lot of different, she's written for Heart to Heart, she's published Stretch Marks recently, which is amazing, but
And Jean has her own comics company, indie comics company here in Las Vegas as well, and you can find the books that she writes, draws, edits in places like Cosmic Comics and Alternate Reality. She does her own zine, of course. No, Jean is great. And I've got, former showgirls included in this piece, like Nancy Wright Hardy. She's someone who's got a lot of experience working as a choreographer and dancer here in Las Vegas. She's currently, I think, a character actor at a wedding chapel, like an Elvis wedding chapel on the Strip. And I've got Sean Clark, who's a professor emeritus in the film department, talking about his memories of the great Gary Nelson, a notable filmmaker who lived here in Vegas many years, responsible for Freaky Friday and other classics. So yeah, it's just I don't have any other word for it. It's just like a joyous gathering of writers, Las Vegas writers from all walks of life, all backgrounds. It's so great to put them together in a book and see how it, shapes up, see how it settles. It's been it's just a fascinating project every year.
I love that. Yeah, so just as a reminder for everyone in chat, I post some links to the upcoming events that Jarret mentioned. So the exhibition discussion that's coming up at the program gallery, and then also, of course, the book launch that is next week, I believe, or it's coming up pretty soon. Yeah, next Thursday.
And then next Saturday we have the book festival here in Las Vegas. That's on the 21st. That's all day at the historic Fifth Street School, free, and a great gathering. And I highly recommend it, especially if you get nothing to do and you got a family, you got some friends, you want to just have a great time. There's nothing better. The weather's going to be perfect, so I highly recommend it.
I wanted to ask, I guess I'm going to shift gears again as we sort of come towards the last few moments of our stream. Jarret, how long have you lived in Vegas or Nevada? It just seems like you just have such a love for the city, and you've been here a very long time. I just wanted to know how long you've been here.
Yeah, well, I moved here in the summer of 2001, and I was immediately embraced by the city. I quickly found work writing for the alternative news weekly papers here in Las Vegas at the time. These are now defunct publications like the Las Vegas Mercury, Las Vegas City Life. But 20 plus years ago, there was a vibrant independent publishing scene here, and I just felt so grateful to be welcomed by everyone. And because the city welcomed me so thoroughly, I've kind of become its own. I've become a champion of this town and the people that inhabit it. It's important for me to, I think to be responsible for a community that didn't really. There was no gatekeeping for me. Everyone sort of tried to find a place for me. I didn't have to I looked for work. Obviously, I didn't get my dream job of becoming a professor immediately. I had to, in many ways, not prove myself, but I had to I had to do the work. And Vegas made that part of it very enjoyable because everybody I was surprised to learn was creative. Everybody I was surprised to learn wanted to foster a sense of artistic and creative community. And it wasn't like that out east. Out west, it just felt like people could let us do what we wanted to do, whether it was a streaming gaming channel or whatever, there was just freedom here to kind of redesign yourself and rebrand, oneself. And I've been grateful for that because it's not something I could have accomplished in a city like New York or even LA. Vegas is starving for creative input. And I'm so thrilled to know that there are people like me who want to provide that and want to support each other in doing that. So that's why I love Las Vegas so much. And it's going to be hard to ever leave this place. I don't foresee it because, like I said, it's just it's the people here and the communities here that make it so livable and lovable.
I think, yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I think once you look off the strip or even like on the strip, but if you just get a chance to really spend some time in Las Vegas and Southern Nevada, it's just really a welcoming place. I love Boulder City. I think that's one
Yes,
of my I think they have one of the best libraries I've ever been to.
yes, I agree.
And just a lot of hidden gems just around the area if you just look and just keep going out there. I guess that leads me to one of the questions I wanted to ask you, which are, I think it's difficult to answer, but it's a very personal question, so there's no right or wrong answer. But what are, I guess, three of your top places or things to do in Nevada? And we could make this even Las Vegas or Southern Nevada, but just as someone who has spent such a long time here and just really really loves this city and this place, like what are three things that you love or
Well,
places?
I love the hiking. Lake Mead National Recreation Area is so much fun, and I'm always finding new hikes, new trails, new areas of that recreation area to explore. And I just love the outdoorsiness of Las Vegas. Not just Lake Mead, but you mentioned Boulder City. There's some great trails and hiking in and around that area that are unforgettable. And I just don't. I don't think Vegas gets enough credit for its outdoors options. I just find that whether it's Mount Charleston or Valley of Fire, or just really, or just neighboring Pahrump. There's so much to do. There's some great trails out there that I've discovered. So I guess the hiking and the outdoor exploring would be the first thing that I would recommend as a place, something to do, and when you're here. I think I said Red Rock National Conservation Area, but that's the outdoors is just absolutely wonderful. The second thing I would really encourage people to do is, I know it sounds silly because we're not really known as a literary town, but I love just book shopping and hitting places like Avant Pop Bookstore in Commercial Center, or I mentioned it earlier, Alternate Reality Comics Shop there on Eastern and Russell. And there's new used bookstores all the time. That I find a place called It doesn't have the most original title, but it's Las Vegas Books is another great used bookshop. And I just got this wonderful text from Analog Dope Bookstore in downtown Las Vegas. It's a great bookstore that you have to check out. I mean, it's just cute and curated and completely adorable. So if you can check out Analog Dope, that'd be one of my top recommended places to visit to get some books. And of course, I have to say, Writer's Block Bookstore, which is the beating heart of the indie lit scene here in Las Vegas. What great offerings they have there. And it's not a used bookstore, Writer's Block. It's different from some of these other places I mentioned. They sell. It's just a straight up bookstore out of a dream. And
Slash bird sanctuary, yeah.
yes, and they've got a rabbit too,
Mm-hmm.
a fluffy rabbit you can love on while you're there in the YA section. So yeah, that's probably the second thing that I like to do. The third thing, I don't know. There's so much great food. I'm a big foodie, and I love the new restaurants that are popping up in downtown Las Vegas, but also everywhere, it seems, from Henderson to Summerlin to Centennial Hills. I like the food in Las Vegas more than anything else. So I'd say hiking, bookstores, and then the food.
I think those are three great things to love, and especially
Not so
about
much
Las Vegas.
around, not so much around UNLV, around campus, not so much, but downtown, which isn't too far away, and then neighboring Henderson and Summerlin, great restaurants.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think I have two more questions to ask you. But again, if anyone else has any, last questions or comments in chat, please share them with us now. So I guess my second to last question for you, Jarret, is one that I like to ask every first time guest on our program. And that is, what do the humanities mean to you? I always like to ask this question because I think sometimes, it's kind of difficult to define and everyone has a different idea. So I'd love to learn more about your own personal definition of what the humanities mean to you.
Well, the humanities for me are, the what you call the soft sciences, social sciences, philosophy, literature, political science. I would even throw. I mean, I don't think a psychology would consider itself humanities, but I don't know. I see things that are writing intensive and things that require, you to compose your thoughts on paper or Word doc or whatever. Humanities are an opportunity to understand your own, humanity. And it's not alone, humanities is for me inherently collaborative.
Mm-hmm.
It's not you. I mean, it can be if you want it to be you alone in the stacks of the library trying to meet a paper deadline for class or whatever. But I think it's more than that. I think the humanities is what Nevada Humanities does, which is, collaborate, inspire, along the spectrum of different, disciplines and different passions. So to me, that's what the humanities best represents is, a collaboration toward a goal that, is going to help us understand ourselves, or at least articulate what we're up to with regard to literature, with regard to, political science or whatever else. How does this matter? Why does it matter? That's what I love about it. It's inherently interdisciplinary, which is what, a book like this hopefully does, where I bring, scientists and filmmakers and, journalists and English majors together in a book. So I guess like just a passionate collaboration of voices in a community. I think that's not the best definition, but it'll do for now.
I like it. Now I'll take passionate hodgepodge. That sounds great.
Yeah, passionate hodgepodge. That's good. Yeah, I like that.
I guess my last question for you today is, it's really, well, it's not really a question. Well, maybe it is. It's just, is there anything else you'd like to share with us? Again, I think I could easily talk to you for many, many more hours. We could play Stray Gods for, until I guess the infinite combinations that there are. But I've just really enjoyed getting to know you better. Getting to learn more about you. I think you've done so much. It's just fun sort of like untangling just like these little bits and pieces of, who you are. But yeah, just in terms of like future projects or fun things, I would love to know if there's anything else you'd like to share with our chat before we say goodbye today.
No, I just want everyone to know that if they're looking for a fun, dystopian yet, let's say, hopeful thrill ride of a book, Hammer of the Dogs is everywhere. I saw it at Target yesterday.
What? That's amazing.
I have not seen it at Walmart, but I'm hoping it'll get there one day. But no, I wrote this cool adventure novel, and I hope people have a lot of fun with it. I try to rewrite, Dune or Lion, Witch in the Wardrobe, or, like I said, that list of fun 80s films, like, Conan the Barbarian, Howard the Duck, Buckaroo Banzai. I think there's a readership for a book like this, and I hope anyone who's interested in retro pop culture will take a moment and, consider it, because I wrote it to be fun, and I want there to be more fun and pleasure and love in the world.
That's awesome. I mean, who can disagree with that? Who can say no, right? Like, no, I don't want more fun. No fun. Yeah. Well, thank you again, Jarret, so much for being with us today. I shared a link in the chat to Hammer of the Dogs if anyone hasn't heard of it yet or wants to check it out. It's for University of Nevada Press, but like you said, you could potentially find it at Target. Check out Las Vegas Writes Anthology if you want to read, previous ones or the one that just came out, and especially if you live in Las Vegas now, go say hi to Jarret at the book launch next Thursday or at the upcoming reception. a lot of chances to see him. And again, thank you to everyone who came, all the new viewers who followed us and watched and supported your professor today. It was great to meet you all. We like okay guys is what we decided. So thank you for being here. Just as a reminder, everyone will be back this Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific. We're going to continue our playthrough of the game Heaven's Vault with Josh Webster, who is a professor at Great Basin College. Also, I think a child of the 80s, loves pop culture, loves comics, loves everything nerdy, kind of like an alternate Jarret. So I like that I'm surrounding myself with people who are like-minded. And then next week on our program, we're streaming on Tuesday and Wednesday, both at noon, with two people in Reno. So I like that we're getting this sort of, again, northern, southern Nevada community happening here. But next Tuesday at noon, we're streaming with Stephanie Gibson, who is the former assistant director of Nevada Humanities, but now she's the new director of the Lilly Museum of Art at UNR. We're going to play a game together about French family and scrapbooking, really charming game. But next Wednesday, if you're free at noon, October 18th, we are streaming the game Monster Prom with Catherine Fusco, who's a professor at UNR, teaches literature. And we're going to explore spooky tropes. We're going to talk about zombies. We're going to talk about, I guess, monsters and prom and Monster Prom. So check that out if you're free. So everyone, thank you again so much for being here. Jarret, I really appreciate you and hope to see you all again soon. Have a great day.